With the campaigning having ended, stage is all set for polling and results to the local body elections in Punjab tomorrow. 5 municipal corporations, including Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Patiala and Fagwara, besides 44 other local bodies, including councils, Nagar Panchayats and by-polls, are scheduled to exercise their franchise tomorrow. The last elections for these local bodies were held in January 2018 and the tenure finished in January 2023. So for nearly 2 years, there have been no local body elections in Punjab. This led to the Supreme Court, after nearly 2 years of delay, on November 11th, asking Punjab government to conduct the local body elections within 8 weeks. Earlier, Punjab government had faced embarrassment when it was delayed in conducting elections to the panchayats as well. AAP was challenging the elections, saying that they had not done the delimitation in the wards, because of which they would not have the correct franchisee numbers, which was not accepted by the court. So here we are with the elections. Rajmeet Singh ji, we had a very limited time for elections after they were announced on December 9th, and we go to polls on 21st. How do you see?
Yeah, a very good question. Basically, the AAP, this government led by Bhagwant Mann, was reluctant to hold the municipal polls. It was being said that they would wait for the Delhi polls. So no, but then with the intervention of the High Court, then the Supreme Court, they had no option but to conduct the elections. But still, the opposition parties were basically thinking that they would hold it in the first week of January. Because of the this Shaheed, we remember the Sahibzada's martyrdom. So, but the opposition parties were caught unaware. Basically, they were not prepared for it.
Don't you think the time is very less for them to reach out to people and talk about their issues?
Yeah, basically there have been elections back to back. There were by-elections earlier. Then 4 by-elections happened, and then the panchayat elections happened. Then these are rural elections. Now these are the urban elections. So parties have, they have been complaining that very little time has been given, but the alibi the government is giving that it's the Supreme Court direction, we could not do it.
एक तो टाइम बहुत कम था, उसके बाद बिल्कुल जैसे ही इलेक्शंस अनाउंस हुए तो एनओसी का इशू राइज हो गया. Earlier this problem in a different form was there during the panchayat elections.
Yeah.
The candidates were saying. Similarly now the municipal elections, candidates ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਟੈਕਸਸ ਪੇਡ ਹੈ, ਰੈਂਟਸ ਪੇਡ, ਕਲੀਅਰੈਂਸਿਸ ਕੋ ਲੈ ਆਉਣ, ਬਟ ਇਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਲੋਕ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੇਪਰਸ ਭਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਕਲੀਫ ਹੋਈ. आप कैसे देखते हैं?
संजीव, बेसिकली ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਚਾਇਤ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਜਾਂ ਕਾਰਪੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਦੇ ਆਰ ਲੋਕਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ. ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਬਾਈ ਦ ਸਟੇਟ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ. ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਟ ਦ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਆਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ. ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਮਸ਼ੀਨਰੀ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਡ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. And it's always like, it was not the first time, it was during the Congress also. The civil administration would create hurdles in filing of the nomination papers by the opposition candidates. Like in panchayat election, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਚੁੱਲਾ tax. Seldom anyone pays, because when you're with the ruling group, earlier it was Congress, so they don't pay. ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਸਡਨਲੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ. ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ 4, 5, 7 ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਮਿਲਿਆ. 7 ਦਿਨ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ 3 days they were not uploaded, the voters list not uploaded, then there was overlapping in the voter list. ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਨੇ. ਸਰਟਨਲੀ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਬਣਿਆ. ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਐਨਓਸੀ ਦੀ ਰਿਕੁਆਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤਾਂ ਬਟ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਦੀ ਕਾਰਪੋਰੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਰਓ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਰਿਟਰਨਿੰਗ ਅਫਸਰਸ, they were asking for these documents, and there was many people could not get it. Many could not file their nominations because of that.
See, in one case, a woman said she was beaten up in Patiala. ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੇਪਰਸ ਗਲਤ ਠਹਿਰਾ ਕੇ ਨਕਾਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਗਏ. And there have been many such cases. And interestingly, the cases have been reported to the State Election Commission, which asked the district election officers to look into the issue. I'm not aware if any district officer from any place in the state has upheld this criticism by the opposition.
Yeah.
So what do you make of?
I will take back to the panchayat election. Panchayat elections which we had hoya si, then the Congress went to the High Court. High Court again directed the district administration to review the matter. Fir it fizzles out in that time. In the same way, in Patiala, as you have pointed out, 40 candidates of Congress could not file the nomination paper. Either they were torn or they were, they're not allowed to nomination. As far as BJP, they around people could not file their, and there was violence. Their nomination papers were torn by the, the gundas or whatever the allegations are. So that is certainly a big problem. Yeah.
So serious allegations have also been made against the police. As to the police have not registered the cases, or they have even picked up the leaders of the opposition in certain places and not allowed them to contest.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous trend, I would say, because I earlier mentioned that it's a local election. So the ruling party wants to create the narrative of being in the driving seat. They won the panchayat elections, or they, as alleged by the opposition, that they were manipulated. And now the potential candidates of opposition parties are not being allowed to file the nomination paper.
Channi and Pargat Singh held a press conference in Jalandhar where they clearly said that the candidates are being intimidated.
They are being called to police stations by SHO in the morning. The crucial candidates of leaders of the party who have to campaign are being called to the police station. So you can imagine now how will the campaign sustain.
Is there no way to ensure that the fair play is being done, or the cases are just reported, and will this end if everything is held fair?
It did happen during the Congress time also. It happened during the Akali's time also. I think the memory of the people is very short, because the state government, they run up to the, you must remember that the next assembly elections are in 2027. So in the run up to the next elections, the ruling party always makes an effort to create a narrative that it is, it is connected to the people, the issues take a backseat, the administration and the civil and the police administration are, used to, alleged by the opposition to, manipulate the results.
So we accept the fact when the BJP in Patiala says that only about 10% of their candidates have been allowed to contest. Congress in Jalandhar is saying that most of their has been rejected. And at the same time, we also have reports of the AAP candidates having been elected unanimously at different places all over the states. So is election a mere facade?
The local election seems to be.
Do you think the issue then nearly needs to be re-looked into, debated,
very well
and really thought about as to what the real election is?
Very well said. The real issues are the solid and waste management. The basic communities are in the very, very bad shape. The NGT has pulled up the Punjab government for not meeting the targets on the solid waste management. They have been news about it. We have been in our paper carrying series on the state of affairs. Those issues are not discussed. Now the Aam Aadmi Party has come up with a manifesto, city-specific manifesto, in their promising solid waste management. They are promising road infrastructure, as if it never existed earlier.
So we talked about how the things are going about in the election as to on the ground. But at the same time, we know that the elections are basically about corporations, and we've had so many corporations over the year. At the moment also, I think in four out of these 5, there's Congress corporation, which has served, which will now be going out. But what have they really delivered on ground? As to the condition, as is also being reported in our own paper, that the position of the sewerage, of the roads, of the rush, they all continue the same.
As you very well mentioned, we have carried a story on smart city, the pathetic state of the Ludhiana and Jalandhar and Amritsar.
A point there is that Aman Arora in Jalandhar was saying that the 100 crores meant for the smart city in Jalandhar have not been spent anywhere at all.
So they have been, very well said. It's a question which the people should be asking. The political parties have to be accountable for providing the basic amenities. They have not been. And I, from local government sources, have come to know that there are ample funds with many municipal corporations. They are not being spent. It's very strange.
Very right. I mean, the very basic things of the sewerage, of cleanliness, these are being largely ignored in most of the cities, and we know the fact. Yes. But there is other side of the story as well. The corporators, the councillors, they point out to say that they don't have money with the state government gives them a very marginal small amount.
Exactly.
This is one side of the story. Yeah. But the other side of the story is that these guys are supposed to generate the funds with taxes, with rent for their, but hardly anything is being done. And even if anything is being done, the accounts are not clearly shown to us.
Yes, there are rich corporations like Ludhiana, Wahali, they are rich, there are poor corporations. See, the recovery of the property tax, for example, is less than 40%. So as you mentioned that earlier, like it has to be the state government has to pocket money, or they have to get a give a matching grant. So that is certainly a recovery in certain cases. Because of political reasons they are not able to recover money, because the property tax, sewer tax is one of the major contributors to the funds that is not being recovered fully.
So we think we really have not, the local governments have not really been able to deliver the intended aim of the parliament. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I will give you a very simple example, a very simple grassroots example. Solid waste management. I recently had met some officials. They said that we have not been able to segregate the solid and the liquid waste in Punjab. Why it has not been successful? It's a very basic thing. The entire purpose of funds gone into segregation. It leads to multiple expenditure. Then multiple levels of governance. So there is lack of will, lack of intent, and responsibility, lack of responsibility. So you can well judge from this that we have not been able to implement door-to-door collection. This is one of the example I can give.
As we know that 1992 was a landmark year when, with the 73rd and 74th Amendment to the Constitution of India, it is passed that the local bodies, including panchayats and villages, be given more power to take decisions on their management and administration. But it's a matter of fact that over the years, the intended dream has not been fulfilled. To this date, the big leaders, the moneyed class, and even the MLAs for that matter, continue to rule the roost. So I think the intended purpose of this Decode Punjab was to lay threadbare as to what the ground is and what the dreams of our constitution was to deliver to the people in the name of local government. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Decode Punjab for The Tribune.